Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our 50th annual Dr. Ellen Silvergrad Clinic Day. We are really appreciate that all of you are here, and we are thankful to all of you too. This year, we are doing a special topic, and the topic is failing hearts and emerging treatments. We are really thankful that we have a dedicated committee who choose excellent speakers. And I would like to thank my committee members, which includes Dr. Silvergrad, Dr. Nitin Doshi, Dr. Kirith Patel, Dr. Wilbur Smith, Dr. Daichek, and also the other people who help us during this thing are Catherine Porwal, Kathy Kovasnek from that marketing, Dr. Charles Schwartz, who is our cardiovascular surgical chief, Dr. Joy Pollard, she is one of our nurse practitioners over here, Via Barrias, but not very important person who works day and night for this program, behind the scene, Karen Parrott. I like to applaud all of them, okay? We have very good distinguished speakers this morning, and I want to welcome each one of them, which includes Dr. Celeste Williams from Hannaford Hospital, Dr. Prakash Didwania, who flew last night. He came last night, midnight from San Francisco. Dr. Thomas Haywood also came last night, midnight too. Dr. Tang, who came from Cleveland Clinic, and Shana Johnson, she is one of our vice president from the Trinity. So I welcome each one of the speaker over here. So we are going to start our program with a reflection, and I'm going to introduce our chaplain, Charles Cambridge, will be delivering today's reflection. He is a member of the Pastoral Care Department. He serves as a full-time chaplain for pastoral care and bereavement services. And we are very thankful that he is here today. And I invite him to start with the program with a reflection. Thank you, Charles.
Thanks, Dr. Masters. And thanks to you all. Good morning. The topic for the 58th Annual Allen Silvergrad Medical Clinic Day for Failing Hearts, Emerging Treatments prompted me to focus this reflection on the powerful connection between the human heart and the healing of the body and spirit. And that's why I've chosen the topic, the power of the human heart. Research shows, and I'm sure doctors will be very familiar with this, that the human heart produces enough energy that not only dramatically changes the way we perceive others, but also brings about healing of mind and body. Healing is our mission as healthcare professionals. The Trinity Health Mission statement states that we serve together in Trinity Health in the spirit of the gospel as a compassionate and transforming healing presence within our communities. Henry Nouwen, in his book, Reaching Out, says this about healing, and he says, healing means, first of all, the creation of an empty space where those who suffer can tell their story to someone who can listen with real attention. As healers, we have to be able to receive the story of our fellow human beings with a compassionate heart, a heart that does not judge or condemn, but recognizes how the stranger's story connects with our own. We have to offer safe boundaries within which the often painful past can be revealed and the search for a new life can find a start. Our most important question as healers is not what to say or what to do, but rather how we develop enough inner space where the story can be received. Healing is therefore the humble but also very demanding task of creating and offering a friendly empty space where strangers can reflect on their pain and suffering without fear and find confidence that makes them look for new ways right in the center of their confusion. End of quote. So the human heart, I would say, powerfully supports this very theme of healing, the healing of body and spirit. There is a writer who says this about that connection. He says, all arguments cease to function when the heart speaks, which means to say the reality operates when the heart begins to function and express itself in any manner. Scientists have discovered that our human heart's output of energy is greater than any organ that we have, including the brain. The scientists measured the muscle tension, heart rate, blood pressure, and found that feelings and emotions stay with a person 8 hours. I found that. I thought this was pretty cool. Now, here's what the connection is. It makes sense, therefore, to say that when we say to someone dear to us, our spouses, our kids, that we love them, we give them a big hug, chances are we have passed off enough energy that will last them at least 8 hours, or the whole day, for that matter. The same is true about our smiles, our compliments. We as chaplains do this in different ways. One of our chaplains shared with me a story of reaching out to a patient, the first visit, and the patient says, I don't want to talk to you. She goes back in the second day and asks the patient, what colors do you like? And then the patient says, I like blue. The chaplain gives this patient a blue blanket, and this patient smiles, and the whole experience changes. The chaplain was connecting with the patient on a human heart level. This was something very special, and I thought that is very significant. It looks like a very simple thing, but it makes a difference. According to Christmas Adams, my heart is more than just a pump that provides circulation for my body. There has been new scientific research on heart intelligence that has proven that our heart has its own intelligence force that sends signals to the rest of the body. So it's not cheesy to say and to ask all of us today, listen to your heart. So everything done from the heart, therefore, and this is my conclusion, will carry so much power to make a difference in the lives we touch in our professional lives. It is quite obvious that as healers, we potentially have the best platform to bring about greater healing to our patients, our families, and our colleagues when we put our heart into what we do, because we now know that to love deeply what we do is to have an impact on those that we care about, that will go beyond anything we have ever dreamt of. I call this healing. We need, therefore, to allow that energy in our hearts to lead us and to guide us so that we and everyone we meet will receive the healing of body and mind and spirit. God bless you all, and thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Chaplain Charles. I really appreciate your thought. Is Mr. Jack Weiner is here?
I don't know if he'll make it.
Okay. So I'm going to invite Dr. Michael Smith. He is our VP MA to say a few words from the administration.
Good morning. I'd like to make it short and sweet. Jack can't make it this morning for a conflict, but I'm honored to be able to speak here as the member of the senior executive team here at the hospital and welcoming all of those that are participating and especially our honored speakers. So as we begin to think about, as we move forward in this day and age, we heard about mind, body, and spirit, and I wanted to give a little something of three. It's very short. But as we begin to think of how we deliver healthcare, we have to start to think in terms of the triple aim. IHI put forward the triple aim, and it's difficult for some of us to remember, but remember that we are delivering better health. So what does that really mean? Now, better health means not what we perceive, but what our patients perceive. And that's so important because, for instance, on a total hip, if a patient, an orthopedic surgeon says it's success, if the surgery was a success, the patient went home. But that's not success for the patient. The patient's success is, I went home, they presumed that the quality was there, I wasn't going to have an infection, I wasn't going to have a complication. Success for them was how I was treated when I was there at the hospital, and success was I was able to get back and play tennis if that's what I did before. That's a patient experience. So the other thing is the populations that we deal with. We can no longer deal with just what we're doing today. We have to deal with the population that surrounds us, and the population now means more than the health and well-being of the simple things, i.e. Weight control, dietary restrictions, all of those things. It also is going to encompass in the New World Order how those populations are dealt with shelter, food, and obviously cost, which is something that nobody likes to talk about in healthcare, but with a shrinking environment and baby boomers such as myself going to be enjoying the fruits of our labors with now having to be a consumer of healthcare, we have to be mindful of what does it cost us to do that. So as we begin to look at today's program, I see that we're going to be touching on many of the factors of those three things in triple aim. So it kind of aligns itself with what we have to do in healthcare. So thank you so much for putting this together. It is something that the administration is extremely proud of, that 58 years ago this started and has continued to grow and continues to show to the community, not only the community that surrounds us, but Trinity Healthcare, and more importantly, our medical staff and the young physicians that are learning. Our commitment to medical education and continuing lifelong learning is an important facet. So thank you for all the work that everybody does, and we're looking forward to today's program.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate. Just want to mention that this program is supported by the administration, from the medical staff funds, and also the medical education. So I really appreciate all those departments. Now I'm going to invite our Chief of Staff, Dr. Neil Jolapalam.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Masters, and thank you for putting this wonderful event together along with your committee. This is one of the important events that the medical staff of St. Joseph Mercy put together every year. And the committee has done great work to invite distinguished speakers and putting a very important topic for this clinic day. As you know, the failing hearts and innovative treatments around it, it has great economic impact in the current healthcare environment, where the outcomes, like Dr. Smith was saying, is measured by what happens after the patient goes home and how well they're taken care of, not only in the hospital but outside, and preventing readmission is of great importance. I'm sure you're going to hear about all of those items. Again, I want to bring up the name of Dr. Al Siror-Glad here, who's been the heart and soul of Clinic Day for years and years, and in whose name this program goes on into the future. And I really am proud to have him here today in our audience, and he will say a few words about this evening. With that, I conclude. Again, enjoy today's program and enjoy the lunch afterwards. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Neil. Now I'm going to invite our honorary chair, Dr. L. Silverglide. I learned from him. I was a vice chief before, and then he was a chief for almost 45 years of this committee, and we are really thankful to him. Al?
Well, good morning. Nice to see this wonderful group here today. And Neil, thank you very much. And I want to add my thanks to everyone. And I really mean everyone. Usman Master has already given thanks to the Clinic Day Program Committee that's done a wonderful job. And in addition to the Program Committee, Everyone includes the medical staff of the hospital, the nursing staff, the administration, the hospital support staff, the residents, the medical students, guests, especially our distinguished guest speakers, especially the entire staff in medical education who really cares and puts their heart into this program, as well as to many, many other things. I want to thank especially the continuing medical education staff. And 2 people run that program, Karen Parrott and Via Barrios. They put their heart into it beyond belief. I want to thank them very, very much. And I want to call your attention to one particular page, one particular article in the program book. And I must admit, in the way of disclosure, that I wrote that article. And in the way of disclosure, it's about one of our deceased, several months ago, staff members. It's a tribute to Larry Zliniak, a cardiologist who was very much involved in medical education and also in the clinic day. Larry left us suddenly and unexpectedly several months ago. Totally unexpected, and we miss Larry very, very much. In the way of disclosure, because we have to give disclosure for CME programs where we give CME credit, I have to disclose that I have a relationship with Larry Zliniak. He was my medical student many years ago at Wayne State University, and he was one of the very first young physicians that I brought to St. Joe's. Back then it was St. Joseph Mercy Hospital. He was always present in our previous auditorium, which was right next door to this, a much larger auditorium, and he was one of the most important people and one of the most frequent people at medical education programs in this hospital. He liked this auditorium, and he had a special seat. His favorite seat was in this section, left section, on the aisle, 4th row from the back. And that was Larry's seat. Now, in the program book, there's an article on him, and I want you to read that, but I don't want you to read it now because we're going to start our program, and I don't want you reading that article while our first distinguished speaker speaks. So anyway, you look at it later. But anyway, where can you find it? It's one page, but it's easy to find. It's the 4th tab from the back, and on it, it says tribute to Dr. Zliniak. 4th tab from the back, and on top of that page, there are 2 pictures. One of them on the left is the picture of Larry when he was a fellow in cardiology in this hospital many years ago. And the one on the right is the way many remember him now. Anyway, the article is titled, With Caring and Dedication. So read it later, and again, thank you everyone for being here, and we're ready to start the program. Thank you very much.